Big posterior pelvic tilt at the top. Tap the ground. Big posterior pelvic tilt at the top. Make sure you're spreading the band. Thank you, Mahan. On each rep, spread the band. First exercise of the day right here, hip thrust. Get ready to take it into from about first gear to fourth gear. Let's get a couple more. We're going to add in an isometric at the end after our fourth gear. Here we go. Let's speed it up for 15. 1, 2. Spread the band. 3. Spread the band. 4, 5. First exercise of the day. Feels great. 7, 8. Thrust and squeeze. 9. We still get that peak contraction. 10, 11, 12. 3 more. Then get ready for the iso hold. 13, 14. Keep your knees open. Stretch that band. 15. All right, hold it up. Hold it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let it down. Oh, yeah. Glutes. Glutes on fire. Fogata in the posterior. All right, let's hop on out. We're going to, once again, we're going to band up and weight up for our banded kettlebell swings. We know and love these. Banded kettlebell swings force us to generate more power, force us to recoil under control and decelerate with more caution, control, and finesse. All right, so make yourself a big triangle here. Start with the kettlebell on the ground down in front of you. Hands on the kettlebell, hands on your band. Hey, sweetie pie. We're going to get 20 reps in together. Get ready to hike it through our legs. And 3, someone's going to get hit in the face. Watch out, watch out. Move, move, move. And go. Told you. All right, sweetie pie. 5, 6. Tuck it in. Power it up. Tuck it in. Power it up. 10. Forearms to your inner thighs. Oh, powered up. 15. We need 10 more. Let's get 25s. 20. Stomp and squeeze. 5 more. Get your 25 no matter what. Ha. 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 Ah, there's 25 for me. Make sure you get 25 for you. Sorry, sweetie pie. Oh, wow. Okay, let's take a few breaths. Now we've got our third exercise. It's going to be a pulsing squat. Still with the band, still with the heavy weight. A couple recovery breaths here together. You know, recovery breaths when your heart rate is jacked up, they don't feel good. They're very uncomfortable because you want to just naturally, you just want to pant and breathe real fast, even though it doesn't do much for you. But after you take a handful of deep, controlled recovery breaths, you do feel better right away, I notice. All right, we're banded up around the knees. We've got our heavy weight in front of us. We're doing some pulsing rep squats. Let's hit the middle 50% of our squat. So not the top, not the bottom, the middle 50% for 25 pulses. Come on down. Here we go. Up, 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 middle 50, up. Don't stand up all the way. Don't squat down all the way. We're not going butt to heels, and we're not standing up into our lockout. Every time you descend, spread your knees. Knees out, knees out, knees out, knees out, knees out. 10 more. Breathe. Knees open. Chest up. Core tight. Back straight. 3 more. Oh, yeah. Oh, Nelly. Oh, shoot. Oh, wow. Oh. Well, as you noticed, we did our squat dislocates and stretched out our legs right before that set. So we're going into our roll section. Roll and release. Grab your PVC pipe. Let's sit up on top of this. Good old simple contraption. Let's lean all the way to the left. Lean to the left. Left leg is straight. I like to put my right hand on my thigh. It actually helps me stabilize and push back and forth by mostly pushing myself front to back with my back arm, which is kickstanding behind me. Make sure you're leaning left, so we're getting the outside of your left hip, glute medius area. And make sure we're rolling all the way from the top of your glutes, where you approach your lower back, roll over your glutes and down towards your hamstrings. So that way, we're rolling a little bit of the hamstrings insertion point, which overlaps with the inferior part of your glutes. So a few more. And now, you already know, but always recommit and remind yourself to relax whatever you're rolling. Relax what you're rolling. All right, let's switch sides. Sometimes, even if you're not cringing and wincing, you don't realize that you're not relaxing whatever target muscle group you're rolling. Sometimes you're clenching and contracting and you're being active, which is not what we want to happen while we're massaging our muscles on the roller. We want to let our body weight do the work, disengage your muscles, breathe with every breath, sink into the foam roller a little bit more. I got a cute Mama Nina in front of me who, pretty sure she just gave me a nice little fart to the face. She is the closest culprit. Let's get a few more. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. We're going to be moving on to upper body pressing to be specific. We're going to start with our dive bomber push-ups today. And if you have a couch or a chair or a bench or a step or a stool or something close to you, we're going to use that today just so I can show you the idea behind these from a different angle. So I've got this. You might even be able to use your ball. We just need something to elevate your hands on. So this is about 1.5 feet tall. And I want to emphasize the dive bomber push-up, the hip hinge. So I'm going to emphasize, see how my hips are up. And the bench is out in front of me. I'm descending forward with a wide hand placement. My hands are wide, elbows flare out. And I bring my collarbone to the bench. Now you might have something in front of you, depending on what you're doing these on, where your chin or your nose touches the thing first. That's fine. But just tell yourself this is an incline push-up. So relative to your torso, the angle that you want to be pressing is upward at an incline at about 45 degrees, anywhere from 30 to 45 degrees. If I were on a bench, the incline on the bench would be about 45 degrees right now. I'd be pressing dumbbells or a barbell upward vertically at about 45 degrees relative to the angle of my torso. And that's because, keep going with me here, that's because we are targeting the upper part of your pecs, the sternoclavicular portion of your pecs, which is oftentimes less developed, weaker, and could use some love. These are starting to get tough. Keep the pace controlled with me. And we'll speed these up and get a little burnout here after a few more reps. Keep the hips up. Keep those hips up. Maybe you're still doing these on the ground with your knees bent. That's fine. You can also go straight legs on the ground. All right, speed them up. Speed them up. 1, 2, see what I got. 3, stick with me. 4. Okay, I got 7, 6.5. A lot of times it's just a good idea to do a little bit of a quicker, rapid burnout at the end of a set. Doesn't matter what you're doing, squats, push-ups, what have you, you're starting to struggle, starting to slow down, we'll just ramp it up and bust out some really aggressive reps as long as you're not out of control. That way you can really challenge your work capacity. All right, so we're going to go into some standing chest flies. So let's grab a band for some chest flies. We'll do these standing today. Usually we do them seated, but standing is cool too. These are incline flies, so see where I'm putting the band down here, lower part of my back, below my scapulas. I'm going to start with the elbows bent, palms facing forward. I'm going to press and fly upward, above my face, arms straight, bend the elbows, come down. Extend the elbows, come up. See, I bend the elbows as I tuck my elbows down and back. I extend my elbows as I bring my palms together. So the important thing here is to straighten your arms out as you bring them inward and adduct them together. Push your palms together so you get a nice peak contraction. We're still aiming for upper pecs. And you see we're actually bending the elbows as we bring them down and back, which actually helps us facilitate a nice pec stretch without overemphasizing on the anterior deltoids, which is very common on chest flies because they're working together. Pecs, anterior delts, and biceps are all working together. I'm starting to slow down, so that you know what that means. We're about to speed it up. You get a couple more. You don't want to speed it up until it's time. You got to be honest with it. You got to earn kicking it into high gear. Here we go. Speed it up. 1, 2, let's go for 10. 3, 4, 5. It's getting hard to extend. 6. Oh, they're partial reps. 8. Partial reps. 9. 10. Oh, so that looked like a poor range of motion, poor form, partial rep. And it would be poor form if I wasn't doing it with, conscientiously. It's okay if you use a little cheat, if you use a little momentum, if you shorten the range of motion, if you speed things up for the sake of taxing out your work capacity, which is a good thing to do when you're trying to build tension and strengthen a specific muscle. The difference is, are you doing it intentionally or not? All right, so third chest exercise. We're going to do our close grip incline chest press. Once again, let's do it on the ball like we did before. So, got our stability balls. Got my weight here. This kettlebell works great as a close grip. You might use a slam ball. 2 dumbbells together can work. As long as you've got a close grip. All right, we've got hips down and we're pressing upward. So notice how we're pressing upward at an angle because our hips are below our shoulders. And the difference here is with this and our dive bomber push-ups is that with the dive bomber push-ups we had a wide grip, but now we have a narrow grip. Squeeze and crush your weight. Every time you press up and lower down, squeeze the weight like you're trying to crush it. That's going to give you the sensation like you're doing a chest fly in the midst of this chest press, which makes the chest press much more effective for stimulating your pecs, is when you adduct and squeeze your weight as you press. So we're not just pushing up, we're squeezing in both directions. What I was saying about the dive bomber push-up is this is an incline press. And the dive bomber push-up is also an incline press because we're pressing at an upward angle relative to our torso. So it might look like, we're facing the opposite direction. We're also moving an external load instead of our body weight, but we're still accomplishing the same general task, which is to target our upper chest. I know it's a high volume set, stick with me. These are one and done sets. So focus on every single rep, every single breath, every single movement pattern, joint action, muscle contraction, and drink it in because it's one and done. All right, let's get ready to speed it up. Let's press it fast for 10. Press. Boom. 1, 2, all the way to the sternum. 3, squeeze it. 4, crush it. 5, breathe. 6, brace your abs. 7, brace. 8, breathe and brace. 9, and 10. Oh, whew. Oh. Oh, you know what? I'm going to stretch my pecs out right here. I went right into the chest taxing. Our STR, pattern tends to get out of order. But while we're here, this is a great way to stretch your pecs, which we did not do immediately prior to our chest exercises. I'm always just super stoked. I might tell you my personality and a flaw in my training mentality, because I'm always excited to get right into the work. But part of the work, part of the puzzle, equally as important is addressing range of motion, flexibility, and stretching also is another opportunity to help enhance your mind-muscle connection. Feel your target muscles stretch. You see I'm doing these butterflies. Stay with me here. I'm relaxing my neck, head's back on the ball. And we're just letting gravity do the work here, because gravity is pulling our arms down towards the ground, which is giving us the pec stretch, but also a great front delt and bicep stretch. What I was saying is stretching, just like contracting, is an opportunity to enhance your mind-muscle connection, because you can do a certain stretch to target a certain muscle, and you might not be doing a great job, just like you might be doing a certain exercise to target a certain muscle. Maybe you're not doing a great job and you don't feel it in the right places. So, same idea. Grab your roller. Let me go. Grab your roller. We're going to stretch or roll these pecs now. Time to roll and release the pecs. Now, coming all the way down onto the ground, hips on the ground. I'm putting this roller right in my armpit at a little bit of an angle. And I'm going to go and keep my palm on the ground and my arm out wide today. I'm rolling horizontally, side to side. Rolling your pecs sometimes is a little bit awkward. You feel like you can't move around very well. Things get in the way. But as long as you are relaxing and moving on top of the foam roller, just remember that. As long as you're relaxing, breathing, and moving on top of the foam roller, then you're accomplishing something. The main thing is to relax. Getting a little anterior deltoids here too intentionally, because my delts felt pretty tight during that pec tricep. Not to mention with incline presses, your shoulders come into play. They're called into action a little bit more than, say, a decline press or a straight horizontal press. Keep shimmying on those pecs. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy a little bit more. Shimmy, breathe, and relax. All right, let's switch sides. Here we are. Yeah, I do most of the locomotion using my opposite hand to press and pull me side to side. Because if you press down into your hand on the same side that you're rolling, you're going to engage your pecs, which again is counterproductive. Now if you're relaxing and controlling your roll on pecs, it's usually a muscle group or a region that makes you wince a little bit, makes you cringe. Try not to clench your jaw. Try not to start breathing and panting rapidly. Stay calm and roll on. A couple more. Okay. All right. So, we're going to do some heavy band rows now. We're moving on to the lats. Oh, wait, no, we're going to stretch first. We're not going to go out of order. Grab a quick sip of coffee. All right. Let's stretch the lats like we did last week. We go one arm up above our head and fingertips behind your head. The other arm up above your head. Grab your opposite elbow. Grab your opposite elbow. All right, you might already feel a nice little stretch here. And I personally need to press the back of my head against my forearms to help extend my spine and open me up. I already feel a pretty good stretch. But we're going to side bend one direction, side bend the other direction. Try to keep your hips pretty still so that it's just the trunk and the torso that are flexing laterally. And you can assist with this lat stretch by pulling on one elbow and then pulling on the other elbow. Now let's sync our breath up with it. Inhale when you come up, exhale when you drop and stretch. Inhale, center, exhale, lean and stretch. Inhale when you come up, exhale when you come down. So that way you're exhaling as you go deeper into the stretch. And when you breathe out, it can help you relax and lengthen your muscles a little bit more. Feel this all down the side trunk, but we are doing this specifically for the lats. Two more on each side. Okay. Oh, kind of hard to get out of there. Not a bad thing. All right, grab a big band. I've got a big band that's harder than it looks because for some reason this band never becomes more supple. It just stays very tight and solid, even though I've had it a while. We're gonna do some heavy single arm rows, supported single arm rows. So you've got the band, see this? It's doubled up. I'm gonna step on top of both layers. All right, both layers. Now I'm gonna drop my other foot back. This is a little different way to support today. Drop my opposite foot back. I'm just gonna put my hand right here on my hip, however you want to. And now I'm gonna pull my elbow back and I'm gonna squeeze and row. Pull it back, squeeze and row. So you've got slack at the bottom, a lot of tension at the top. So this is definitely focusing, prioritizing the end range of motion of your row because there's no resistance at the bottom and a ton of resistance at the top. It's okay to rotate the shoulders a little bit. You see me drop my hand down my thigh. That's just me. Retract your shoulder blades, squeeze. Retract and squeeze. I'm going for that big pause rep at the top. Yeah. A lot of contractile force here. I'm gonna get a couple more, and then we're gonna speed it up. Try to keep your back neutral. All right, let's speed it up for 10. 1, 2, I'm barely moving. 3, but I'm still contracting. 4, put your brain in your lats. Lats, lats, lats. 2 more. Woo. Now once again, it looks like I'm barely even moving. The range of motion was pretty short there. I was not pulling back very far, but my lats, my arms were firing on all cylinders as hard as possible, which means they were being stimulated. It's okay to sacrifice range of motion intentionally. Here we go. Squeeze. It's okay to sacrifice range of motion knowingly. If you can still feel your muscles, you're still forcing your muscles to work against the resistance as hard as possible. That big pause at the top. Squeeze and pause. Retract and pause. Tuck the elbow back and pause. Push into your foot. Push into the ground when you pull. Push down to pull up. Push and pull. Push and pull. Push and pull. Retract and squeeze. Do a couple more, then we'll speed it up. Squeeze your lats. Doesn't even matter how far you're pulling back. Here we go. Lats, lats, lats. Squeeze. Push. Pull. 2 more. Oh, wow. Even just holding that bent over position is very challenging in and of itself. Grab a quick drink. All right, we're gonna do some lat pullovers. So grab a heavy dumbbell, heavy kettlebell. If your slam ball is heavy enough, that will work. Maybe you have an easy bar, some sort of barbell at home you can hold. Lat pullovers. Pick the weight up, put it on your lap, roll forward. Here we are. Upper back is on the ball. You can even rest your head on the ball. Extend the arms. Inhale, drop the weight behind you. Exhale and pull. Inhale, drop the weight behind you. Exhale and pull. Now we've got a lot of things going on here. This exercise is not very complex, but there's a lot going on. We're maintaining an isometric bridge. Hips are extended up in the air. We are preventing our back from bowing and arching excessively as you drop the weight behind you. You are controlling the weight down with your lats and engaging your abs right when you pull. That's important. Inhale, stretch, flex your abs, and pull. Abs and glutes, really. Abs and glutes. Right when it's time to pull, make sure you are not disengaged in the hip and core area. Lots of triceps here, lots of shoulders, even pecs, a lot of abs, but we're doing it for the lats. So put your brain in your lats. We're not going to speed these up. We're going to keep this tempo controlled. Let's get 5 more. Abs and glutes. Put your mind in your lats. Let's get one more. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, we didn't speed those up because, in my opinion, many people's opinion, any type of a pullover, you don't want to get fast and jerky in that end range of motion with your shoulders. That can just be a little tweaky and vulnerable for your shoulder joint capsule. All right, so let's grab a smaller band and we'll finish our upper posterior with a band pull variation. This is actually a row variation. This is a combination of a band pull and a row. So check it out. We're doing 2 things at the same time. We're spreading the band outward horizontally. Take a more narrow grip than you're used to. See how narrow my grip is? Bring the grip in. So we are going to pull outward, thumbs out, as we row into our ribs. Forward, maintain the tension in the band. Row and squeeze. You should feel a sensation here that might be unfamiliar because we're spreading with the posterior deltoids and our traps and a little bit of rhomboids, but we're also rowing and squeezing our lats. All right, tell yourself you're rowing. Squeeze your biceps, squeeze your lats, and all the while you're spreading the band. It doesn't look like it, but see, I'm spreading the band hard. So we've got resistance going horizontally and resistance going, well, still horizontally, but backwards. So resistance in the frontal plane and the sagittal plane. I'm going to do something here to drive this point home that we're focusing on the lats. All right, give yourself a quick break. I know those shoulders are on fire. Let's do part 2 of this. Keep that same hand placement. This time, hinge over like you're doing a bent over row. But we are doing bent over rows. So here we are, hinged over, spine is neutral. Now do the same thing, spread and row. Spread, squeeze, pull the band into your ribs. Contract your lats, retract your scapulas, flex your biceps hard, flex those guns, and keep the band tension. Don't let the band tension go. I know it might be dwindling a little bit, but keep recommitting to squeezing and spreading. Let's speed it up for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. All right, that's a mind trick because your mind really doesn't know what you're doing. It's just the sensations you give it and think about. Doesn't know if you're bent over stand. Doesn't even know if you're rowing a dumbbell or just squeezing and contracting. All it knows, if your brain is telling your muscles to contract, it doesn't even matter what's in your hands. It's all the same. That's all mind-muscle connection. The weights we use or whatever, implements, just help. They're just tools, but you don't need them at the end of the day. So people get jacked in prison. They just sit there flexing their muscles as hard as they can, and then they build muscle. It's crazy. It actually happens. There's lots of action. That's a whole fitness YouTube scene. It's people getting jacked with no weights whatsoever. Literally just flexing, focusing on flexing, contracting. You build tension, you build muscle as long as you eat the part. And let's roll out now. We got to release and roll. So grab your foam roller. All right. And we are rolling the back. Sometimes, like today, I like to alternate between placing my weight on one side of my back, rolling down and up, and then I switch directions. I roll the other way, on the other side, down and up. So try that out with me. Hey, sweetie pie, I'll give you breakfast here in a few minutes, okay? Want breakfast, sweetie pie? Keep switching from right to left side. Doing a roll down and up. Now is inhale one direction and exhale the other direction, no matter what I'm rolling. But on my back, I tend to inhale when I roll down my spine, and I exhale as I roll back up towards my neck. Boy, that's stuck. Yeah, you're cute. A couple more on each side. Last one. All right. Good timing today. Good timing. I really like these STR workouts, stretch, tax, release. And we could certainly do something of this nature. This was week 4, so we're switching it up next week. But we really focused on 3 primary areas: glutes, upper pecs mostly, and back. Which has a lot of compound, big bang for your buck stuff. But I'm thinking that the next cycle of programming will be something very similar, but addressing different joints, different muscles, different exercises, because it would be then a completely different exercise or routine under the same programming strategy. So we'll see. I'll try to change my mind 12 times thinking about what all of you need between now and next Saturday, but right now I like that idea. So have a great Saturday. Stay strong, hydrate up, and make sure that you get a little cool down, and it's still good to keep moving after that. I'm about the yoga with Andrea. So enjoy your Saturday. Bye-bye now.